has a purpose. We are really focused, and our attention to detail is going to be unmatched.
Back here on Tiger Rag Radio, let's quickly get to our next guest. Kendall Rogers of D1Baseball.com makes his first of many appearances in 2025. D1Baseball just came out with their preseason top 25. LSU ranked number 3 behind Texas A&M and Virginia. Kendall, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great. It's always good to hear from you guys. I feel like anytime you reach out in January, that means it's the official sign of college baseball season.
Yeah.
So I can't wait, man.
You're just some of your thoughts on this LSU baseball team. It lacks the star power, doesn't it, Kendall, that we've seen the last couple of years? But still, it seems like it's maybe a more depth.
Yeah, they got star power this year, though.
Yes and no. I mean, I think if you look at this LSU team overall, I think it does have some star power. I mean, I think if you look at the team offensively, I mean, Barrett Jones is one of the premier, power hitters in the country. I think Stephen Milam, if you looked at just the way he was end of last season, I'll tell you what, if he plays this spring the way he did at the end of last year with just his clutch gene and things like that, I think he can be a premier player. Then, pitching-wise, I mean, Anthony Eyanson from UCSD obviously is a premium arm. Kade Anderson was really good in the fall. And, my X-Factor guy is Chase Shores. I still remember the first time I saw Chase 2 falls ago over in Lafayette in a fall scrimmage. I think it was about 42 degrees, and he was pumping 95, 98 with a wipeout slider. So, it's, again, 2 years
He's
later.
He's up to 99 now.
Injury. Yeah, exactly. If he throws like that this spring, he's a superstar. So I think the big thing with LSU is I think Jay, and I would agree with Jay here, is that this team is really balanced. They may not have quite the star power maybe in A&M or Tennessee, but they have the potential, I think, to have that kind of star power by season's end.
Yeah, I would agree. I think you're right, Jeff. Like the returning players may not have the star power of the 23 team, but if they start clicking, I mean, Kendall, Todd and I interviewed Jay Johnson last week, and just as he was going through his players, listing his infielders, listing his pitchers, he forgot a couple. I think he's loaded with talent. I really do. Some of it's not proven yet. He's loaded.
Yeah, absolutely, Glenn. And I think, too, when you look at this team, I think, this is probably the best I've felt about an LSU pitching staff as a whole in a while. And some people go, wait, hold on a second. We had a guy named Paul Skeens 2 years ago. But let's not forget, I mean, outside of Paul, that pitching staff was a circus at times. So I think this is the deepest, best pitching staff. And the other element of this team I really like is it's kind of funny. I actually reached out to Jay because in their survey, they had Curiel, Jake Brown, or Stanfield in the outfield. And I'm like, wait, Ashton Larson has to be starting, right? No, he's probably the 4th outfielder going into the season. So the fact that you have an outfield unit with the athleticism of like a Stanfield, Curiel, we all saw, you saw Jay Brown last fall. I mean, there's premium potential there. And then Ashton Larson is your 4th option. Man, that's a really, really good outfield.
He said he's got 7 outfielders he can start, and they're all interchangeable. He told us that the other day.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge weapon to have, a huge luxury to have as the season progresses.
Hi, I'm Mike Munderland, and we're here to smash the capital city's trash.
Smash My Trash is a revolutionary compactor for large dumpsters, sometimes reducing the volume of waste by up to 70%. This means fewer hauls per month and big savings for your business. Fewer hauls and compacted waste will also result in a positive impact on our community and our environment by taking up less space in our local landfill sites. Schedule your company's free demo today. Call 225-497-0101.
Kendall, let me ask you a question about Jared Jones, and it's going to involve one of your competitive publications. But how in the world could you have Jared Jones not listed as one of the top 100 juniors in the country?
Oh, did they do that? Well, yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy with
he strikes out too much.
I guess if strikeouts is the thing you're worried about, I mean, go look at the strikeout totals for
Major League Baseball
or A&M this year. I mean, I love their lineup, but I mean, Grohovic and Lavalette strike out. We're like in the top 10 or 20 in college baseball in strikeouts. So maybe that's why they didn't put him on there. But tell you what, you give me a guy like him who is a leader, hits for insane power, and had the option to go pro. He decided to come back, realizing that he has more to prove at LSU. To me, that's a scary dude, because if a guy that good thinks he has more to prove and more to kind of give to that program, man, that's scary. I'm buying all that stock.
When you talk about being loaded with talent, and obviously only 12 of the players on this team played for LSU last year, how much chemistry is going to play into this, and how do you see that evolving throughout the season?
Yeah, what's funny about that is I would say 5 years ago I'd be a little bit more concerned about that. Now that's like pretty commonplace, right? Like teams are going to bring in portal guys. So whereas I felt like 5 years ago there may be a little, like, I wouldn't say animosity is the right word, but there might be a little like tenseness in the locker room. I think everybody kind of realizes that's today's culture, that's today's reality. So I think chemistry should be fine. I mean, obviously I don't know every single one of those kids, but I do know that when you have a hard-nosed guy like Milam, or you have a hard-nosed guy like Bear Jones leading the way, I feel pretty good about your chances. And I would say too, I feel like a program like LSU in terms of baseball, like they kind of breed their own culture in terms of like how they're going to be in the locker room, on the field, etc. Like when you go to LSU, the standard is you're going to at least at some point in your career play for a national championship, and it's kind of like it's kind of like one of those things like, hey, if you're going to get in the way of that, it's like get off the tracks while the train's coming. So I feel like LSU is like one of those programs where I'm not saying they're always just going to be, kumbaya in the locker room, but I feel like everything kind of takes care of itself to some degree.
Hey, Kendall, we got to run really quick, but give us a just very, very quick here. Just give us a quick take on A&M and Virginia's strengths.
Yeah, just A&M. I mean, their lineup's absolutely loaded. They return over 200 homers from last year. And then Virginia, really offensive team, very similar to LSU. I think both those teams are very balanced. The good news is LSU's in the top 3. The bad news is 9 SEC teams are in the top 25. Wow. So you better pack that Pepto-Bismol. It's going to be a long season.
Kendall, can't wait to talk to you again soon.
Thanks, kids. Thank you.
It's time to start betting on yourself. Louisiana 988 can help if you're dealing with tough emotions caused by gambling habits. You can share as much or as little as you want, and it's completely confidential. It's free, available 24/7, and most people who reach out report feeling better right in the moment. Call or text 988 anytime.
Are you ready for the East Baton Rouge Parish Library in 2025? The library is ready for you. You'll have 3 opportunities to meet President Abraham Lincoln in January. The legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. will be presented at the Baker Branch. And if you've been researching your family's history, join us for the Genealogy Brown Bag Lunch. Find out more details about these programs and more at ebrpl.com.